These are things that would be in the movie of your life.
Get out from your house, from your cave, from your car, from the place you feel safe, from the place that you are. Get out and go running, go funning, go wild. Get out from your head and get growing, dear child. Get Growing, Dear Child is the start of a series archiving my journey to embrace my inner child and my spirit of adventure after struggling with trauma, chronic illness, and mental illness. Trauma led to me living in freeze mode, and now I'm choosing to free myself.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Mia, or miainmoments. You may know me from TikTok or Instagram. Thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers on YouTube. I'm so thankful for you guys. I hit 40k on TikTok, 1,000 on Instagram, and then 100 subscribers on YouTube all at the same time. And I'm just so appreciative and grateful for all of your support along my crazy, mismatched, non-linear exploration of a healing journey. I'm so thankful for you guys just following along and sharing your journeys with me and your stories. I've been falling more in love with YouTube each video I create, the editing process, just creating longer form content and talking to you guys differently, and I feel so much more connected when I make YouTube videos. I'm so excited to keep going on this journey. So again, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I cannot wait to keep growing with you. To celebrate 100 subscribers and all of my recent accomplishments across social media, I'm starting a new series called Get Growing, Dear Child. This series is inspired by a TikTok I saw when I was just scrolling through my For You page one day, and I'll insert that now. That TikTok was inspired by the quote that I introduced in the beginning, and I'll insert that again now. Get out from your house, from your cave, from your car, from the place you feel safe, from the place that you are. Get out and go running, go funning, go wild. Get out from your head and get growing, dear child. And I fell so in love with this idea. I fell so in love with the idea of creating a Get Growing, Dear Child list to help you kind of get past your fear and get past like any limitations or trauma that you have affecting you and how you're living, and just like get growing, get wild, and start actually living your life despite the fear, and not let that hold you back. So in this first video of my Get Growing Dear Child series, I'm going to be creating my Get Growing Dear Child list with you guys. So we'll do that today. I'll kind of talk to you about what I'm putting on there, why I'm creating this list, and why I think everyone should do this. And then in the following videos of this series, I'll be checking in with you guys as I work through some of the activities and things I've put on my Get Growing Dear Child list in like a mini vlog form. So it'll be super fun. I don't know how many episodes it'll be, but we'll just keep going and going along this journey together. So a Get Growing Dear Child list, like they talked about in the TikTok, is essentially a living bucket list of activities and things you've been wanting to do that maybe you've been holding yourself back from because of fear or because of any other limitations you placed upon yourself. And it's really prioritizing healing yourself and actually like going after your life and living free and following your joy. And that's exactly the stage I'm at in my healing journey, is taking the step to get out of my fear and like transition into that next phase of life that involves being free and truly living. So I think this list will be really helpful, and I'm excited to share with you guys how it helps me and inspires me to do that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. If you want, you can create your list along with me. Go ahead and grab some paper and a pen or some markers or something, whatever you want, and we can work together on this list. I really want this list to be like a living record or like a living archive of all the things that I want to do. So I want it to be something that I'm constantly developing and working on, so it like doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to have everything in my mind. I really want this to be like a source of motivation. I want to be able to come to it when I'm feeling stuck or sad or like I don't know what I want to do, because that's a huge source of anxiety for me. I'm like, oh god, I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm just not going to do anything. So I want that to be like a helpful factor of this list for me, and I want it to motivate me to like live my life instead of avoiding living to avoid anxiety and depression and fear and all of that. So there's lots of things I've been wanting to do that I've been like I don't know, irrationally holding myself back from, I guess I would say. Like, I don't need to be holding myself back from doing all these things, but I've been so afraid for so long that like that's my default mode, if that makes any sense. I've been living in so much fear that I've been frozen in place. They say that there's like 3 different trauma responses: fight, well, I guess there's more than 3: fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And I was often like someone that freezed and fawned, so I would just stay stuck. And I feel like I keep perpetuating that even though I'm older and can get out of that situation now. And I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, so I just got done working on my list. I worked on it for like half an hour or so because, I don't know, I just want to have a lot of different options because I want this to be like for different stages of my comfort zone. I feel like this list might take me a while, and I kind of want it to take me a while because I have a lot of anxiety and fear to work through, so some of these things might be really hard for me. I feel like most of the time I struggle to even get out of the house. So this is going to be quite the challenge, but I think it's worth it, and I think it's good to challenge yourself. And I think it will just help me heal and get more comfortable with exploring the world and making mistakes and being comfortable with the uncomfortable, because I feel like trauma has made it so hard to do anything that could be scary or could lead to failure or anything like that, or anything that's even out of my comfort zone. So it's time to step out and step into the world because I am here, besties, and you should be here too. Like, let's do this together. At the top, I wrote a list to embrace life and move forward even in fear, which is definitely what I need to be working on. Let's do this. So I'm not gonna read everything off the list, I'll just read some of them. So the first thing I wrote was, I want to explore tide pools. I live in California, like 15 minutes from the beach. And I think the last time I explored any tide pools was when I was in elementary school. And I feel like there's something a little sad and shameful about that. Like, damn, what am I doing? Where I'm not just enjoying the natural beauty of our world and the stuff that's literally like 15 minutes away from me. So I want to do some of that. I've always really wanted to learn about photography and get started and get my own camera and get into film photography, but I've never done it. So I actually want to make the commitment to getting started with that and exploring the world of photography and getting a camera and all that fun stuff, because I genuinely have always been jealous of people that know about photography since as long as I can remember. So it's time for me to learn about it too. Now, I don't think the photography one will be very scary because it doesn't necessarily involve leaving my house. It just involves like committing to learning something, but that's also quite scary for me. I also put on my list that I want to learn guitar again. I have a keyboard, but I've never learned how to play it. So I would really love to learn how to play my keyboard. I have wanted to write a book forever. I've like started and then stopped, and it's always been like this massive fear block. So I put on my list that I want to write a book. And I have a book idea right now, so I really want to commit to that and get going, commit to some regular writing time every day or every week, and really like write my book and get past that fear blockage of what if I fail or what if it doesn't get published, because in the end, it's more about the process as opposed to the end goal. But that's hard for me because I am such a perfectionist, and I've always seen it in movies and like Disney Channel stuff where you can like go to a planetarium or something, and you can go to a planetarium and you sit down and you get to like look up and it's this whole thing of like stars and someone talks to you about all of them. I've always desperately wanted to do that. I think it's so interesting that I've never had the chance to do that. So it's way up there on my list. Like maybe a science museum or something where I can go look at all the science cool stuff and then also get to go look at the stars in some like planetarium cool way. See, I've obviously never been to one because I don't know much about it, but I really would like to go. Another thing that I've been looking at doing and have wanted to do for a while is to take some pottery classes, learn about pottery. It's just quite expensive and I don't really know where to get started, and I'm nervous about going to a class and not knowing what I'm doing. But that's the whole point of this Get Growing Dear Child list, is to get past that fear, embrace my inner child, and do the things I've been wanting to do without fear and the failure. And then not necessarily my inner child, but also my inner child is I really want to go to a speakeasy. Everyone I know has gone to a speakeasy and I haven't. I just think it's so cool, and like, oh yeah, I just like walk into this like freezer and now I'm in a bar. Like, that is cool to me, and I want to do that desperately. And my life will not be complete until I'm in like a really cool suavecito outfit and I walk in and I'm like, get me a martini. That's a cool drink, right? That's like a classy drink. So that's why I want to go to a speakeasy. I want to get back into yoga, and learning to do a handstand is something that I've always wanted to do. So that's the goal that I set myself on this Get Growing Your Child list, is to just practice learning to do a handstand. I have this like blockage towards it because I'm scared that I'm not strong enough. I'm scared of failure. I don't want to fail. So I'm like, why would I even do it if I could fail? And I hate that. I hate that about myself. I really want to learn about watercolor painting. That's something I've always wanted to do. Maybe like go to a fun little class or just follow a YouTube video or something. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I keep just procrastinating doing anything that brings me joy, and instead just sitting in this funkage of sadness. And then just some easy, simple things to do around town as I kind of work through my anxiety about being in public. I'd love to like find a new little coffee shop and like really establish places for myself that I like to go to. Like, you know, in books and movies, you always see the main character has like their place. They go and sit there and do their reading, or they like to go right there and they know the waitress. Like, I want to have my own place where I feel comfortable. I can like sit and read and do my writing and like drink coffee. I think that'll make me feel a little bit more comfortable in the outside world and more connected to a community, because I do not have a community right now. I want to go on a road trip up PCH. I've been on one road trip in my life by myself, and I drove from California to, I drove from California to Sedona, Arizona, and that was quite honestly a disaster. I showed up there and it turned out that the people that ran my Airbnb were nudists and had like proposition people for these sexual acts, and Airbnb canceled my Airbnb while I was driving up there, and I didn't find out till I got to Sedona. So it was a whole chaotic thing. I ended up having a ton of panic attacks and having to call my mom and get her help, but it worked out in the end. But I would like to have a more successful road trip experience and go up the coast of PCH and kind of explore some of the coastal towns and see what it's like, because I've lived in California my whole life and I've only been up PCH and kind of explored a couple of those coastal towns like once. And like, I just need to do some more exploring, some more wandering. And then kind of on like the wandering, exploring train of thought, I really want to go foraging for mushrooms and just like go out into the forest and collect leaves and press leaves and collect herbs and learn all about that and learn about gardening, because I've never been super outdoorsy, but it's something that I really love. I'm a Taurus. And I'm like a Taurus to the T. I love the earth, I love nature, and I want to learn more about it and how to connect with it better. And that's something I've always wanted to do, but I have no clue where to start. So I'm gonna figure out where to start and then go out into nature, and we're gonna be collecting some mushies. I really want to go swim in a lake. I've swam in a lake maybe once, twice, 3 times in my life. I live in California, right next to the beach. Not many lakes to go to. So I want to go swim in a lake, maybe see a turtle or something. I feel like going hiking, coming across a lake in nature. That's what I want to do. I don't want to like drive to a man-made lake. That makes any sense. Or like a river. You know, I just want to be, I've never really done adventures, and I want to do nature adventures where I can embrace all these things that I haven't been able to do before. I want to find a waterfall. Ain't never seen a waterfall. I've been to Niagara Falls. I want to see a waterfall when I'm hiking. I want to be out, I want to be hiking, and I want to walk across a waterfall. I want to be like, nice waterfall, let me take a photo, let me enjoy the waterfall, and then I want to meditate and look at the waterfall, okay? This is my bucket list, not yours. I want to move to a new city. I want to move somewhere completely new. I'm living at home right now. It's time for me to move, and I want to move somewhere new that feels good and I can explore and really kind of get started feeling independent and just living on my own, living life how I want to, and figuring out who I am and how I even want to live life, because I haven't been on my own for like 2 years now. So it's gonna be a whole new experience. I'm not sure where I want to move, but I know I want to move to a city that feels like a good combination of me being able to explore nature and feeling cozy and safe, but also like having everything pretty close by, being able to walk to places and find like cool coffee shops and vintage stores and all of that. So I'm trying to figure out where that is and where I can afford, because the world is expensive, but it's fine. We're manifesting, and everything that's meant for me will come to me, is what I tell myself, and then I ruminate. I loved horseback riding as a child, and I haven't done it in years, so of course another thing I have on my list is go horseback riding. I think it'll just make my inner child so happy and bring back a lot of like positive childhood memories for me, and I don't quite exactly have a lot of those, so I'll take what I can get. I want to make a charcuterie board. I really want to make a charcuterie board. I think I want it to be like a regular charcuterie board night. I really enjoy a good charcuterie board and a glass of wine and like reading by a fire. That's the vibes I I want my life to have. So, and I've never actually made a charcuterie board. Big on my list to make a charcuterie board and feel fancy and like I'm in a dark academia setting and I'm waspy and wealthy when I'm not. This is super random, but I want to visit Alaska. I can't explain it, but I just feel like Alaska has such a weird, magical, but also murderous energy, and I'm curious and I want to explore it. And I feel like there's just a lot of writing energy in Alaska. Like I feel like I'll definitely get some of the best writing of my life. I've always really loved animals, and I've kind of had to give up kind of the veterinary route I was going through because, simply put, I didn't want to make it through chemistry, and I realized I didn't want to spend most of my time putting animals down or dealing with dying animals. Like I don't want to see animals in pain, I just want to love them. So I think I want to volunteer with like some sort of animal sanctuary or something, because it's been a while since I worked with animals in any capacity and I missed it. And as a kid I volunteered with the animal sanctuary and went to summer camps there, and it was such fun for me. Maybe that'd also be a good way for me to find some community, some new people, or at least feel less alone and completely unfulfilled with my life. I want to open up my heart and embrace softness, and dating and meeting new people, platonic or otherwise, is really helpful for that because I don't really have people in my life now, so I have to meet new people in order to make that happen somehow. I want to learn to knit baklavas. Like everyone is wearing those cool things. I want one so bad, but I want to make one, and I've always wanted to learn to knit. I want to make sweaters and stuff. I feel like it's such a mindful and relaxing hobby, and that's like the energy I have. I want to do activities that are going to be sustainable even into old age, you know, like eventually I want to do Tai Chi and everything. I want to join a writers group because I feel like it's really motivating to be a writer in community with other writers because it's such a solitary activity, and I feel like it's easy not to motivate yourself or do anything when you don't have anyone that's like checking in or even aware that you're working on something, or someone that you can bounce ideas off of and talk to and like hear what they're working on. They want to hear what you're working on. I think that's so fun, and that's one of the biggest things I miss about college is the community aspect to my creative process. I've never in my life had a smoke spot, and I would love to go hiking and find like a cool smoke spot that's like really beautiful and I can watch the sunset and all of that, because I didn't start smoking till I was older, and I just think, how do I not have that? It's like some of these basic things that trauma stole away from me. So my list may sound simple, but some of these things are experiences that I didn't get to have, and I want to have them even though I'm 22 and it's a little late. I've never made bread, and I really want to bake bread. I was gonna do it like peak COVID times last year, but then I couldn't find anything that I needed to bake bread, and I got overwhelmed and anxious and I didn't do it, which is the story of my life and pretty much how everything on this list got on this list, because I got too anxious or too depressed and I didn't do it. I also want to bake a cake. I haven't baked a cake since I was a little kid, so I think that's gonna be really fun and messy, and then I kind of want to smash it, because who doesn't want to smash a cake? Like, how is there not somewhere in your brain that you really want to violently smash a cake? I want to refresh my French. So one of my huge goals as a child was to be able to speak another language, and then I spent 8 years of my life studying French, and I lived in France for 6 months, and then I came back to America, and bada boom bada bing, it's gone. I barely speak French anymore. So I want to refresh my French and kind of start speaking it again, and then maybe go ahead and take a trip to France. Okay, we're moving with the sun, as I'm getting like a little glimpse of it over my neighbor's rooftop. I've never really done much with my hair since my childhood. I feel like I've always been too worried about other things, where like dealing with my hair was way too stressful. So for years I kept it in a bun on top of my head and no one even saw my hair. And then I transitioned into just wearing it down, and I haven't really done much else with it since that transition. So I kind of want to explore, maybe get it braided. I'm biracial and I've never had my hair put in braids or any sort of protective style, and I think they're so beautiful. And it's something I've always really wanted but not known how to do. So maybe get some braids done or something like that, and really just experiment and play around with my hair and my appearance and have some fun with it. I want to watch the sunrise. I don't remember the last time I've like taken the time to get up early, go hike out somewhere or drive out somewhere and find a lookout to watch the sunrise, but I think it's such a lovely and simple experience to have and so easy to do, so that's another thing on my list. And then I have a few like simpler ones to kind of close out the end of my list, some things that I just want to like take the time to do. Like they may seem really silly or arbitrary. These are the things that these are things that you'll remember forever. These are things that would be in the movie movie of your life. Like, I need to do some things that would be in the movie of my life, because I feel like I've been in the Bella and New Moon depression montage for a while, and it's time to break that cycle. I feel like I'm living the same day on repeat, and I want to add some things in that will spice it up, jazz it up, even if it's like super simple. So some easy things that I can add to like every day while I'm getting comfortable, if I'm too anxious, tired, or I just don't have a lot of time. Create a fort. Maybe a pillow fort, just the fort with the extra sheets that I have. I haven't created a fort in forever, and it's such a fun, like, inner child experience. I really want to watch the new Disney movies that have come out. I haven't seen the new ones, and I haven't watched the ones from my childhood in a really long time, so maybe a binge watching the Disney movies day. When I was a kid, I used to choreograph silly little dance routines all the time, and I would love to do that again and just be goofy and silly, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's just like, just for me and fun. But yeah, choreograph a fun little dance routine. Catch me on Dancing with the Stars, besties. Some other really simple things are leave kind notes all over the place. So writing out a few kind notes and then going to like the local bookstore or local library and shoving the notes in between places for people to find anonymously. I think that's a really cute idea and something that sounds really warm and cozy for my soul. But please don't litter, and I'm also not going to litter. When I was younger, I also used to just like write songs all the time, like silly little songs. So one day I just want to write a song. Just like, it doesn't matter if it's the lyric, if it's just like the tune, I want to create a song. Go thrifting for cute home decor. I haven't gone to a thrift shop alone ever, and I've never gone thrifting for home decor, but I always see the cutest little random stuff, and I've never bought it because I've been like, that's silly or that's goofy or I shouldn't. Just like random things have stopped me, and it's something I've always wanted to do, so I'm going to embrace my own desires for once in my life, no matter how goofy or silly society or the people I know may deem it. I want to make a little ecosystem. You know, when we were in elementary school, we'd get like those liter Coke bottles or something, and then we'd make our own little ecosystem with some water on the bottom, soil and stuff on top, and then like put a ton of bugs or something in it. I want to do something like that. I think it was so fun, and just so I felt like a little scientist, and I want to feel like a little scientist. I haven't ridden a bike in, I'm ashamed of how long it's been, and I would love to go ride a bike and maybe go ride a bike by the beach, or I don't know, in the hills somewhere. That sounds really lovely. I love lovely things. I just want to do things that make me feel lovely, I've learned. I want to visit an aquarium. I want to go to a new city for 48 hours and just explore what I can. Super cheap, and then come back home. Just 48 hours in a new city, seeing how I like it, because I've not explored many places in the States, and there's so much I want to explore, because how do I know what I want, where I want to live, unless I've explored a ton of different options, you know? But yeah, so that's my Get Growing Dear Child list. It's not complete. I don't think it'll ever be complete. I think it's gonna always be expanding with me and what I want, and what random thoughts pop into my head of things that I want to do. But I'm super excited to take you guys along my Get Growing Dear Child and healing journey. If you guys created a list alongside me, please let me know some of the things that you put on it. If you put anything that I put on my list also, please let me know. Maybe we can talk about the things we're doing together and share some tips or ideas. Thank you so much for watching today's video, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, love you. Bye.